Welcome to another video. I am at Lydden race circuit, watching the cars go round and round and round. It's very exciting. Now, I'm very fortunate because Lydden circuit is a stone's throw away from where I live. And in fact, you'd probably have to be Jeff Capes to get a stone from my house to here. But actually, as a local villager, I get a free pass. And I mentioned that in one of my previous videos, this one here. So Lydden circuit, established in 1955, primarily for stock car racing and motocross, you know, the motorcycles. So there was no tarmac in those days. And then in 1968-ish, they laid down the tarmac for the route. Now the racecourse is the shortest racecourse in the UK at only 1 mile long. Famous events that have happened here. Well, in 1968, James Hunt won his first ever motorsport race, driving his car, which I'll picture here, I can't remember what it's called. And then in 1969 he came back and did it again. And also Top Gear filmed here. 3 episodes, I think 2. One was Hammond trying to prove the best taxis around the world. Demolition derby, really. And the episode with the 3 chaps trying to work out if it was cheaper to do motocross rally than a day of golf. And that was a great episode. And we'll go around to each of the specific sections because as we'll see, Cheston's Drift here, there'll be collisions. Devil's Elbow, just about there. There'll be coming offs. I've seen cars lose their tyres. I've seen cars drift into the sand, into the gravel. At the top end, North Bend. Oh, it's noisy. Tractor pulling a broken car. I was here on Monday trying to scout the area, take some shots, kind of find the best locations to take some, you know, really, really nifty shots. And there was a coming together at the top of North Bend up there. I'll show those pictures now. 2 minis, and they collided, and the car on the left was turning in but hit the back end of the other mini and broke his steering, so the wheels were in. So a couple of tips. I'm going to be using primarily shutter priority. I was here the other day, as I mentioned, and I've always had this idea that a 30th or a 60th of a second with a stabilization set would allow me to capture the motion of the vehicle, but I was having some real trouble getting the actual focus of the car. So I would have the back end or the front end in focus, the wheels would all be spinning. So a little research, and actually if I push the shutter speed up to about 1/200th of a second, no more than half a second, 1/500th, and actually get much clearer shots. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'll show you the settings in a moment. Another top tip, because I'm going to be panning with the subject, the car, it's best to actually use your body to swivel. So if the car's coming from my left, I'll be kind of facing to the right where the car's going to end up, and I will pan with the car and use my body to swivel rather than just using the camera, because that's just, you know. So from the left, follow the car and then out of the pan. Another thing, I'm using my 18-270 lens, which is my go-to lens, so I can take some wide angle shots when I'm visiting the paddocks. So we're going to the paddocks in a little while, and I can zoom in as much as I need to. I've seen some of these professional guys, they're using like 1-400s, 1-500, great lenses for getting right in. You know, if they're on the other side of the track, then you want a big lens for that. But this'll do for me. You know, I'm right by the track side here, so I should be able to get a couple of good shots. Let's have a look at the settings. So as I say, I'm going to fix it on 1/200th of a second for the most part. I'll fluctuate down to 100th of a second if I need to. I'm going to set the, what am I going to set? ISO. I'm going to have it on auto. let's have a look. Auto, I'm going to set it on, and I'm going to have it a maximum of 800. It's a super clear day today. Minimum shutter speed, I actually want to force it to a 60th. I don't think I'm doing auto shutter speed anyway, so that's fine. White balance I'm going to have as auto. Now for focusing, I'm going to set my metering. Where am I going to set it? It's either going to be center weighted, and that gives me kind of around the middle spot, but if I go spot metering, it will be, I must focus right on the main subject, so I'm going to set it to center weighted. I think that will work. And the area mode I'm going to go for, won't let me do it because I'm in manual settings, so that's fine. So the race is about to start. I'm going to see if I can capture a good couple of shots. These are the Suzuki Swift racers, and they're aged between 14 and 17. Oh, I could have been driving racing cars at the age of 14. The stuff Lewis Hamilton is made of. You know, cut their teeth in this kind of stuff. So what I'll do, take a couple of shots here, then we'll walk around, we'll find some of the juicy locations. Devil's Elbow down there, North Bend at the top, maybe down by the paddocks, and then we'll do a couple of shots. Oh, that was the other tip. Support the camera. Yes, it's a small lens, so it's not going to be, you know, super weighty. It's quite handy to have. But in doing panning, support the camera, which I'll be doing anyway because I'll be doing the you know, zooming in and out. But by supporting the camera, it gives a little more stability. Let's go find another location. They've stopped the racing for a little bit, just at the Pilgrim's Drift area. Mini overturned and ended up on its roof, but the driver did actually get out and was safe, so that's a good thing. I wasn't actually videoing it, but I did take a couple of shots, so have a look at this, the carnage of motor racing. But he got out and walked away, so that's cool. So having removed the Mini from the crash site, they're going to restart the race. Let's go down into the paddock. There's some more BMW Minis, but I see a couple of old classics. There's a Ford Fiesta there, a Toyota MR2. I think I saw an Escort. Yeah, look, there's a Ford Escort. Saving petrol pounds. Oh no, this is for the next race. So there's another mini race that we just saw going out, the 4x4 minis. This one might be worth. Maybe got your helmets on, he's strapped in, ready to go. This should be a good race to watch, and I'm kind of in a good position here because I can get some photo shots of them going up over the bank here, coming up North End and down Hairy Hill. I might just sit here for a while till the mini race is finished, and then these guys kick off. Right, the classic cars are coming out. This is what I like, seeing my old favourites, the Escorts. Let's see if we can follow them out. So we've got two races to enjoy, so they're doing it in sections. Let's focus on them. The process for scouting around locations, etc., when you're taking photographs, is finding the good vantage points. Don't just stay in the same place for every shot. So what I'm going to do, I'll take a walk through the paddocks, we'll have a look around to the limit of what access we can get, and then I'm going to go up to that one, North End, they call it. Try and get some shots. I just saw a car swing round, hit the bumper. So yeah, let's do some footage of the paddocks. There's the lad that had the crash the other day, lost his steering. Oh, they're fixing those cars quick, don't they? Five Nations Trophy. It's a hive of industry in here, isn't it? Not quite the Top Gear weekend of racing for 500 quid. I bet there's thousands of pounds involved in this. And I'm guessing they do win money, whatever position they're in. I don't know. I just like looking at the cars racing around. Look, here's the electric cars. I don't know, is this the future of rally racing? Everything's electric. Getting topped up. It's fuel cells revitalised and whatever it is. So in terms of photography, I'm going to take it out of shutter priority and we're going to go into aperture priority, let the camera just do an aperture, I don't know, anything from f8 to f11. Let the camera do the speed. I'll take some shots of the cars and just to see if I can see anything interesting. Here's a little montage of people in the car. Fascinating stuff. Might take some pictures of people as well. There's a lot of beautiful people around. Chatting with one of the stewards down there. He was telling me about the COVID restrictions. Seeing that down there with the word team on the back of his thing. And the driver groups are in their own little bubbles and they're not supposed to infringe that, so they don't cross over into other groups. And he's saying that, you know, I think it's next month, June 21st, is it? They're hopefully getting to the point where they'll do away with all masks in all venues, no social distancing. So we'll see what's what.
Thumbs up from the start line, Marshall. They're ready to race. Light is on. Hopefully this time we can go green, and we do. Very even start between Tristan Ovenden and Julian Godfrey from the middle of the grid, and it's Ovenden who swoops across the front of Steve Hill. Hill's going to leave his Jokers until the latter part of the race, then doesn't dive into the Joker first time. Wouldn't expect him to really from pole position, but it's the multiple Super National Rallycross champion Tristan Ovenden on home turf. They've just up the A2, only 10 minutes or so away, and he's leading on home ground in the DS3. Steve Hill in pursuit, but Steve Hill out of contention here, and Julian Godfrey is third place. Slightly through Paddock at the bottom of the hill, and then flings his Citroen DS3 through the chicane.
Ovenden presumably then is going to go and Joker on the final lap. Hill goes for the first of his two Jokers then in this race, putting him out of contention, of course, when he does that second one a little bit later on. But Ovenden now has a clear track in front of him, and Godfrey comes out in second position there as well, so now he has the chance to try and chase down, try and close that deficit down to the number 72 of Tristan Ovenden, who is just coming up the top of Hairy Hill into the hairpin bend. Right all up. But either way, not having a good run out there. Godfrey, as he comes over the timeline once more.
Yeah, lots of changes to the DS3 over the winter. Fly-by-wire throttle now, and Ovenden said just easier to control the car. He just posted a 42.7, but Julian Godfrey's going quicker. He's just posted a 42.5. So Julian Godfrey, number 20, lap time-wise last time around, was quicker than the race leader. So Godfrey, in the oldest supercar in the field, it dates back to the mid-2000s, when Pat Duran was driving the car and winning British Rallycross titles, is the creek with age, but it's still rapid, and he was faster on the line than the race leader. So Ovenden, last lap board it shows. Into Pilgrims. Here comes Julian Godfrey in number 20. Lap time last time was again quicker for Godfrey, but not enough to get past Tristan Ovenden. That start for Ovenden was strong, and he comes back out in the race lead. Ovenden in the DS3 holds advantage from the 6-time champion Julian Godfrey. So this is how much progress Ovenden has made in recent weeks over the winter. That DS3 is working well, and he's showing the multiple champion the way at the home.
Driving from Julian Godfrey, close but not quite close enough then.
One more kind of live pan shoot thing down to the Devil's Elbow. At the moment, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of go-kart things going on, which is all very exciting, but you want to see racing cars, not go-karts. So I'm going to go down to the Devil's Elbow. Let's have a look. So it's just down there in the corner, apex of the bend with all the gravel. If something's going to come off, that's where we'll get some action. So let's just have a recap. We're in shutter priority. I've got auto ISO, but with a maximum of 800. I've looked at some of the pictures, and there's really, it's only using 100 ISO, so that's cool. Shutter priority is being set at anything between 1/100th of a second and 1/250th of a second. I did notice that I was recording some of the cars going by on their kind of victory lap, so after the 4 laps of the race they drive around once more, and it looks like the cars are parked because the wheels are just static. So I guess what we're thinking here is that the slower the car is going, the slower the shutter speed you'd need, so 30th, 60th of a second. But as these things are tearing around here at 100 miles an hour, then 1/200th of a second is actually working really well. In terms of aperture wise, because it's a preset, because it's shutter priority, the camera is deciding on what it needs for the aperture, and in most cases it's a low aperture anyway, 5.3, 4, 4.8, whatever it will be. Certainly I'll be showing them on pictures with the stats for each of the shots. I'm going to try and get down here, try not to be bashful, do my video and talk to you at the same time.
Early doors going to pay off before they have.
Yeah, 50-50 split. Owen Robbins likes that early, Joe. Till we do him do it rallycross for this season. Very rapid around the midway.
So the trick is panning. So I'm down at the Devil's Elbow. Elbows in, zoom and retractors required. Lock onto the subject and pan with the subject.
The two cars make their way onto the grid for their final qualifying race. Monticello has done their joker already. They are done, but it's Ollie O'Donovan who leads the way at the sharp end of the field. The top 3 running nose to tail with one another as they come down the hill in towards
noisy, perhaps? Can you hear me?
O'Donovan has the advantage, but Robert Bissell's the winner from round 1 and has second place.
And that's all she wrote. It's just more of the same for the rest of the day, because they do several heats and they get themselves into pole position, and it's one of these things of however many laps you do and you count your time. So in my respect, once you've seen one car go around, you've seen them all. I guess it's only when you have a bit of action, and sort of wheels fall off and everything like that. But nonetheless, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed that. From the photography angle, really quite simple. Shutter priority, auto ISO but with a max of 800, and shutter speed of anything between 1/100th and 1/250th of a second, and that seems to be working. I think I got some really good shots there, so I'm going to finish the video. Thanks for watching and bearing with. Do feel free to give it a like or subscribe. Well, thanks for being there. Bye for now. This seriously is the weirdest racing, because I'm pretty sure all the cars can only go as fast as themselves as each other. So no one car can go faster than the other because they're all electric. So unless they haven't got any charge, so it's just so quiet. What do you reckon? What's the maximum speed these things are doing? 70? Because that's as fast as a car can go. So they're all doing 70 flat out. So unless one of them has an accident or, you know, swerves, then whoever starts in first finishes in first. Whoever starts in fifth finishes in fifth. Oh dear. Here they come again. I'm no motorsport enthusiast, you know, I like watching them go around and, you know, overtaking the odd collision, that kind of thing. But I'm not sure that's the future of motor racing. Well, it will be, you know, when there's no more fossil fuels and everyone has to drive electric cars.